everyone, and welcome to TV Time, a brand new podcast for all of your reality television needs. My name is Edward, and today I'm going to be covering the Big Brother 26 two-night premiere. And hopefully, if we have time, we'll get into some of the feed stuff a little bit because it's been a little crazy. But before we do that, let me introduce the podcast a little bit since this is like the first episode. So, like I said, my name is Edward. I don't have any ties to the professional reality TV world at all. I've never been on a show or anything. I'm just someone who is kind of tired of expressing their opinions only through Twitter replies. So I'm like, let me make a podcast. I have a microphone, I have a webcam, I have a monitor. Let me just make a podcast. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not listening to it on Spotify or something, you're gonna have to excuse the light situation because clearly I had a microphone and a webcam, but I didn't have professional lighting, so it looks a little nasty. But hopefully, once Amazon pulls through, we can fix that a little bit. Now, without further ado, honestly, let's just get into this episode. And before we get into that, I just want to let y'all know I'll be covering Big Brother, Survivor, House of Villains, RuPaul's Drag Race, Bachelor, Bachelorette, Love Island, all of those shows. And if you have any other shows that you would like for me to cover or talk about, let me know, and I would love to dive into them because truly, I am obsessed with reality television. Um, I guess since I'm covering Big Brother, I'll let you guys know about my Big Brother obsession. I've been watching Big Brother for a long time. Honestly, okay, for my age, I mean, I'm 18 years old, so I've been watching it for almost half of my life. I started watching it live in Big Brother during Big Brother 20, but I've seen every single since then, except for 5 and 9. I could not get myself to watch those seasons, child. But I know what happens during them, and I'm super obsessed with the show. I keep up with the live feeds all the time. I'm a big, big, big super fan. On a scale of 0 to 100, I would put me at a 99.5, and I'm being dead serious. As soon as Big Brother starts my screen time, it goes up to 14 hours a day because I'm just on Twitter constantly. Now, I do have my notes right here on my phone. Oh, not Twitter being pulled up. I do have my notes right here on my phone on the premiere. So let's just get into it. Now, this is BB26. Upon the cast reveal, now I'm recording this on Saturday. So it's been a lot that's happened since then. But for now, I'm just going to go back in time and cover the premiere. And if we have time, we'll get into the live feeds a little bit, but we'll see. So the premiere was on Wednesday. We had a two-night premiere, which we haven't had in a while. I think the last time we had a two-night premiere was, I don't even know. I want to say, oh, my bad. I want to say Big Brother 17. I think Big Brother 17 was the last time we had a two-night premiere. Or no, we had a two-night premiere, Big Brother 19. I don't know. But anyways, this was the first time in a while that we did not have a live move-in. I want to know y'all's thoughts on that. I like the live move-ins for the fact that we got night one feeds. This season, we didn't get feeds until night 3. We missed a lot of gameplay, and as we know now, this cast is messy, so we probably missed a lot of good mess. I enjoyed the night one feeds. I'm not a big fan of the live move-ins, but honestly, I thought this season the move-in wasn't that good either, and it was kind of structured like a live move-in. I'm like, you guys could have easily done this as a live move-in. I don't know. For me, I think I prefer the live move-in simply for the night one feeds, but I do like kind of the episode structure of the non-live move-ins, but it was a sacrifice that I was willing to make. But anyways, this year it was not a live move-in, so that was something different. The episode started off, so the first episode came out Wednesday, so it's been a couple of days since then. It started off with Julie in the house, which hasn't happened since, I believe, Big Brother 22 or 21. I don't know for sure. I'm not me calling myself a super fan and I don't know anything. But Julie started in the house. Now, first of all, let's talk about Julie's outfit. Julie was wearing this little romper, gray with a little bow on the side, a little sleeveless moment. I thought it was cute. The hair was cute. I thought she was serving. Is it my favorite Julie outfit ever? No, but it's cute for what it is. I liked it. Good job, Julie. So she started out in the house. She introduced the house. Now, first of all, y'all, let's talk about this house. What does everybody think about the Big Brother house? This year, I love it. I think this is one of the best houses that they have ever had. It's very BB can coded. I don't know how to explain it. It's very BB can coded. I think it's because the lighting is a bit much this season, which I love. I love the theme of it. Honestly, I know people are against the AI theme, and I kind of am too in a way, but for the house, I think it works. The futuristic room looks super cool. The Pink Pony Club room looks amazing. I love that room. The Rocky room, I'm sure somebody will love that room. I thought the kitchen was super cool, although I hate how they got rid of the counter. They have like no counter space this season. They gave them one skinny ass rod and said, deal with it, baby. I love that. I love the bathroom. The HOH room, it's something, I guess. But overall, I really, really like the house. They added some new things this season. They added, obviously, the little Ainsley thing, which we'll get into. And then they added this little nook by the entrance. Usually, when you enter the house, it's just like a flat wall, and then to the left is the kitchen, to the right are like the bedrooms and the living room. But this year they had like a little nook thing when you first enter, so there's extra space to talk. I think that's pretty cool. We've had some gameplay conversations there. I like it. So overall, honestly, the house, I'm gonna give it like a good 9 out of 10. I really like the house. So Julie starts out in the house. She comes out in this cutesy little outfit, and then we start out by meeting the house guests. Now, this is a 90-day season, which I think is a really good amount. Last season we had a 100-day season. Don't ever do that shit again. Do not ever do a 100 fucking day season ever again. That was way too much. It dragged on. Now, granted, I mean, if Luke hadn't luked and we might not have had zombie week, or no, we probably would have had zombie week, but we might not have had the little path to power week. It would have been a little different. But still, 100 days was just far too much. I think 90 is a really nice in between, because I believe 24 was 82 days, and that was just too little for me. So I think 90 is a cute in between. Now this does mean that the finale is October 13th, which does happen to be my birthday. So hopefully I can secure some little tickets if I can. But we'll see about that. Now, let's get into it. So the episode really starts off by us meeting the house guests. So since this is a split premiere, we are going to be doing 8 at a time. So the first move in is 8 people, and then the second move in is the other 8. So in this first 8 group of 8, we start out with Rubina. The first house guest we have is Rubina. I don't know how to say her last name. Rubina Bernabe. I don't know. She is 35. She's from LA, and she is a bartender. Now, first of all, the first thing I want to say about Rubina is she's apparently 4'9", which is actually insane. I'm pretty sure that makes her the shortest female house guest that's ever been on the show. Because I remember JC was on 20, and JC is 4'8". So Rubina is basically JC's height. And I remember when JC was on, that was like a big thing. It was like, oh my goodness, this short ass little house guest. Like, oh my God, like it's this big deal. Rubina is tiny. Like Rubina is tiny. When she was standing next to Cam, it looked like she was half his size. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. So good on her for being 4'9". I don't know. 4'9" is kind of wild. I could not imagine being 4'9". That's actually crazy. But good for her. So my thoughts on Rubina so far, having taken into account the premiere and the last couple of days and her interviews, I think Rubina is kind of just there. Rubina was one of my preseason favorites because, I got a root for my Asian girls. She looked super nice. Her fashion was giving. But it's very obvious that she's a recruit for the show. Like, she has 100K followers on Instagram. It kind of seems like she's there to promote. She is very open about the fact that she's not a big super fan, but I don't know. Rubina just seems very like, I don't know how to explain this. Sometimes there's people that go on the show and they're content creators. And when they make their content, when you're making content, you're able to hit pause, you're able to re-record, you're able to pick the best clips. But then they go on a show like Big Brother where they're filmed live and there are no retakes and everything you say is taped and things like that. And you get live interviews and you kind of see them like not really conform the best way to that. Rubina kind of gives that for me because in her preseason interview, she was giving some weird answers. I'm just like, I don't know. So far, gameplay wise, she seems to be kind of coasting along. She's not in any big alliances. She's not really doing much, which isn't a bad thing. Like she's positioning herself pretty well, I'd say. But like okay, Rubina, like good for you, child. I don't know. She's okay for me right now. I'm not gonna say she has my stand card, but it's on hold. She's on the wait list for it for sure. I would say she's at the top half of her cast. But moving on, the next person we got introduced to was Cam Sullivan Brown. Now, I don't know if Cam's full name is Cameron. I'm pretty sure his full name is Cameron, but he does go by Cam. So Cam is 25. He is from Bowie, Maryland, which I did not know there was a place called Bowie, Maryland. That's kind of crazy. He's from Bowie, Maryland, and he is a physical therapist. He used to compete in the CFL. I don't know shit about sports. I don't know what the fuck a CFL is, but that's good for him. So Cam so far, my opinions on him, I think he's nice. I think Cam is in a really good position in the house right now. He is just kind of like, I wouldn't say he's coasting by, but he's kind of floating by. He's just kind of feeling everybody out. I have yet to hear anybody talk crazy shit about Cam. I've only ever heard good things come out about him. So overall, I think he's fine. I think he's a little boring, if I'm being honest. He's another person that I'm pretty sure got recruited for the show because he didn't really seem like he knew a lot about the show, and he also has like 800K on TikTok. I believe he makes music content, which is actually pretty cool. Good for Cam. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not really feeling Cam that much, honestly. Like he just gives me kind of boring. But who knows? Maybe he'll change my mind. After Cam, we had Mackenzie Manbeck. Manbeck. Yeah, Mackenzie Manbeck. Now, first and foremost, okay, so she's 22. She's from Houston, and she's a construction project manager. Now, first of all, the spelling of Mackenzie is kind of driving me insane. Makensy. That is an insane way to spell Mackenzie. That is so white. I live. Now, Mackenzie has honestly been the one that has done the most 180 for me in terms of from cast reveal to now. I really thought Mackenzie was going to be boring. She was going to be like an Alyssa Snyder character, just kind of there, getting into showmances. Now, granted, she is kind of in a faux mance with Matt right now, which we'll get into. But Mackenzie has honestly been like the main character. She's gotten like the most screen time on feeds. She won the first competition, which we'll get into. But Mackenzie so far has been pretty good entertainment. She's been very, very messy. She's been kind of like, I don't want to do her dirty and compare her to Paloma, but she's been very like messy, very spiraling. I kind of live for her. Honestly, I kind of do live for her. But then again, she's made some, I don't know, she's a little strange, but we'll get into that once we get into the competition. Let's just get through the rest of these house guests. So then we have Joseph Rodriguez, who is 30. He is from Tampa, Florida, and he is a video store clerk. Now, first of all, I did not know that we still had video stores, but that's insane. He does look like a video store clerk. I don't know how to explain it. Actually, I do know how to explain it. It's this fucking porn stash. The first thing that I see on Joseph is this mustache. Baby, whoever convinces this man to shave that shit will get a Medal of Honor from me. I actually think Joseph could be really hot without this mustache. Like it is blocking. I'm like trying to block out the mustache from the photo right now. Like he could be really fine without this fucking mustache. Or honestly, just like shave. Like why is it grown out like that? Like just shave the bottom half of it and just leave it as like a regular mustache. I don't know. It's a stylistic choice for him. If he likes it, then that's great. I'm not gonna shit on it because it is kind of growing on me, I guess. But growing on me in the sense of like growing on me like how a rash would grow on me. I'm like getting used to it, but not by choice. So Joseph, other than the porn stash, I so far like Joseph. He seems to be a fan of the show. He is a game player. He has a pretty good strategy, and I think he's in a pretty good position in the house so far. So Joseph, thumbs up for me, but baby, this mustache has got to go today. All right. Next up, we have Queen. Queen. We have Angela Murray. She is 50 years old. She's from Long Beach, but now lives in Syracuse, Utah, which, by the way, I did not know there was a Syracuse in Utah. That's kind of crazy. And she's a real estate agent. And Angela, oh, Lord, I don't know if I should save this for when I cover the feeds or when I cover the Sunday episode, but oh my goodness, like Angela took like 5 lines of coke before going into the house. Oh my god, like she is cracked. She's cracked. She's amazing entertainment. Spoiler alert, she is the first HOH of the season and she has gone crazy. Now, one thing at a time, so we'll get into that, but from her preseason interviews, she also seems to be pretty great. She talked a lot about strategy. She's clearly a fan of the show. She said that she's applied a couple of times. I believe she was. I think I read this somewhere that she was an alternate for last year. I don't know if I read that correctly though, or maybe like she was close to getting on last year. I don't know. But she seems to be a really good addition to the show, honestly. She's an older, I believe she's the oldest woman on this cast. Which by the way, being the oldest woman being the first HOH is like kind of cracked. I love that for her. She seems to be a good strategist from her preseason interviews, at least. She said that all morals were out the window. She wasn't playing with morals, which I love. She loves the show. She wants to bring drama, clearly. I love Angela. I love Angela. I love everything that she stands for. She is a queen to me, and I will absolutely be rooting her on even more. And I was definitely rooting for her coming into the premiere. All right, next up, we got three more, y'all. We have Kimo Kimo Apaka. I hope I'm saying that right. He is 35. We have a lot of cast members this year that are like 30, 35, 50. Cam is 25. Rubina's 35. Why is everyone a multiple of 5? What's going on? And Tucker's 30. Oh my god. Okay, we'll get into Tucker when we get into Tucker. But Kimo's 35. He is from Hilo, Hawaii. I believe Kimo is our first Hawaiian resident to be on Big Brother, which is super cool. That's super amazing. I believe he is the first. Oh, I don't know if this is right. Is he the first Pacific Islander to be on Big Brother? I think he's the first indigenous person to be on Big Brother. Is that right? Have we had a Native American on Big Brother? I know we have Brooklyn in season 2, but have we? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure he's the first indigenous person. I might be wrong about that. Let me know. But he is a mattress sales rep, which is such an interesting job. Kimo was my preseason favorite, actually, which is wild because I don't remember the last time that my preseason favorite was a man. Kimo seemed really good to me in the preseason. He gave me kind of like Jam Jam vibes from Survivor. He seemed very personable, loved the gayness of it all. I loved Kimo. He had a really good strategy going in. I'm feeling Kimo now. I know that he's on the block right now, but it doesn't look like he's gonna go home. He looks like he has pretty good connections with people. He just needs to get into more solid alliances. But honestly, Kimo so far, I'm really feeling he definitely has received a stand card. He is in possession of an Edward stand card for me right now. So honestly, Kimo, I am feeling him. I really like him. Moving on to Chelsea Chelsea Baham. I'm just gonna stop saying these people's last names. Moving on to Chelsea. Chelsea's 27. She's from Rancho Cucamonga, whatever the fuck that is, California. I'm pretty sure that's an hour away from me. But she's from there, and she is a nonprofit director. Now, Chelsea, goodness. Okay, we have a couple of things to discuss. So first of all, before we even get into what we're about to get into, Chelsea, the photo I'm looking at of Chelsea right now, this photo, her cast photo, um, why does she have like one random ass braid in her hair? It's confusing me a little bit. Is that like a stylistic choice? Is that a hairstyle that I'm just not aware of? Like it's kind of pissing me off a little bit. Just the one random ass braid in her hair, and then the rest is like what's going on? And they did her dirt in this editing. She looks 55 years old. Oh my god. 27, girl. That's crazy. Now, there has been a little bit of controversy. So, for those that don't know, Chelsea is in a bit of hot fire with some of the community because she has made some Zionist remarks allegedly on Instagram. She did post an Instagram story saying a couple of anti Palestinian things, kind of supporting Israel. So, that's why a couple of people are not really feeling her. Now, I will give will I give Chelsea the benefit of the doubt? Should I be cordial? I guess I will. So we don't know her political views for sure because that's as far as we know really when it comes to her politics, I believe. She hasn't discussed it on the show. I'm waiting for her to get out and discuss it with the people because I am curious. But I'm not going to lie to you, the Zionist remarks really got me good. As a Middle Easterner myself, someone that is obviously supporting Palestine, that really got me good a little bit. So Chelsea, she had her stand card revoked quickly. Now, other things about Chelsea, she describes herself as half hood, half holy. That's another red mark for me. I'm sorry. It's no shade, and I know I'm probably going to get jumped for this, but Christians on the show, You know what? I'm not even gonna say anymore. So Chelsea, regarding her position in the game, now I could never give her a 10. You know, I for my people, I'm never gonna be able to give her a 10. She's never gonna get that 10 for me. But I will not lie, I'm gonna have to give her a 9.5 for her position in the game right now because she is in the best spot in the game right now. She has so many connections. Not one person has brought up her name for eviction. Every single time that her name has been brought up, it has been for a good reason. She is doing really, really well in the game right now, which kind of pains me. I'm not gonna lie. But good for her. You know, that's as much as I'm gonna say. Let's move on to the next person. All right, so the last person in this group, fine and fucking Lee, is Tucker. I do not know how to say his last name. Tucker Delory, De I don't know. Tucker. We have Tucker. Tucker is 30. Another even age person. Tucker is 30. He is from Boston, but now lives in Brooklyn. And it said on his casting thing that he's a marketing and sales executive, but I also thought that he was a model. Is he both? Is he no longer a marketing executive? I don't know, but pretty sure he's still a model right now. I think he might be doing both. I don't know. Anyways, I think Tucker is fine. That man could get it. And you will rarely catch me saying that about a white person. But his Instagram, I've scrolled. I've scrolled a couple of times. I've liked, I've stared, I've done all of that. Tucker, he is fine. He can for sure get it. Is he the finest man on the season? Debatable. But he is pretty fine. Now Tucker seems to be doing pretty okay in the game right now. Honestly, preseason I got pretty good vibes from him. He seemed like a person that could go pretty far. He seems very sociable. He's a big cook. Tucker, I like Tucker. He gives a good amount of entertainment. He's pretty cracked as well. Now Tucker, he has this thing going on, and again, we'll discuss this more when we get into the feeds. But he has like random one-sided beef with people, specifically like Matt and Lisa, where it's just so funny because he'll just beef with them for they have no idea that he does not like them, but he cannot stand them. So I think I like Tucker. He's pretty funny. As far as white men on Big Brother go, I think he's pretty good. So I'm gonna give him that. Now, final fucking Lee, we're done meeting the first 8 house guests, and it is time to move in. So they move in two groups. The first group is Tucker, Chemo, Angela, and Chelsea. Now, something to note here. I'm gonna take a sip of my water. Hold on. Refreshing. Something to note here is that we did have a little moment where nobody wanted to enter first, which I found so funny. Chelsea sprinted to the door and she held the door open. She was like ushering the people in. She did not want to come in first. Chemo was set to go in first. He stepped to the side and let Angela go in. And Angela did a whole 360. She swerved that bitch. She swerved Tucker. She was like, I am not about to step foot into this house first. And then Tucker eventually did go in first. Now, Tucker did say preseason that he wanted to be the first one to enter and like break the curse. For those that don't know, there has been a Big Brother curse where if you're the first one to step into the house, you're not going to win the show. Out of the 25 seasons that have aired, none of the people that have stepped foot in first have won the show. Tamar Braxton in Celebrity Big Brother 2 did it, and not Candace, child. What's her name? Bailey. Bailey in Big Brother Canada did it, but those are no one in Big Brother US has done it. So I really appreciate that because I like fans of the show. I like people that watch the show. So Tucker, or not Tucker, Chemo, Angela, Chelsea, y'all got a cute little brownie point for that. Chelsea, you got half a brownie point. But Chemo and Angela, y'all ate that up. And Tucker, he wanted to walk in first, so he got his wish, and we'll see if he breaks the curse. If I had to guess right now, I would say he's probably not going to. But we won't know until finale night, I guess, or until his eviction. So the other thing that I had written down was that Angela was being very emotional when she walked in. She was crying. She was in tears, honey. And this is about the third time that we have seen this woman cry. And honestly, I appreciate it. I like the emotional side of people. The constant crying is not my favorite, but she does it in a way where it's like appreciative. She doesn't do it in like a Nicole Franzel way, no shade. She does it in like a way where I'm like, oh, like, she's a fan of the show and she's crying. Like, I love that. I love that for her. So y'all need to get off Angela's back with that. But that happened, and then the second group moved in with Rubina, Mackenzie, Cam, and Joseph. Now, again, Rubina was standing next to Cam, and that bitch looked like Cam looked like he could eat her alive. Like, genuinely, she looked half his size, which I thought was crazy. But anyways, they all move in and then they get ushered into the backyard where they get introduced to the Ainsley twist. So essentially, they're all standing in their own booth, and Julie comes on and she says that for the first time in Big Brother history, they are going to have the chance to vote in a 17th house guest. Now, this 17th house guest is introduced. Her name is Ainsley. She is, I don't know what she said. She says she's from San Diego. I think she says she's 24, and she shapes boards and stuff. Now, Ainsley is wearing this very obvious wig, and this random ass tinfoil robotic outfit. And the whole gag is that, it actually doesn't matter what the people vote. So we need five votes. 5 votes for Ainsley to enter into the game. 4-4 will not do it. But the gag is it doesn't matter what the people vote because either way, Ainsley will be affecting the game. She was never going to enter as a 17th house guest, which the marketing, they did kind of hype it up as like there is going to be a 17th house guest, which I was like, okay, y'all kind of got us good. But anyways, so they do vote. Ainsley gives her little speech and then they get to vote. Coincidentally, actually, it's a 4-4 split vote. Mackenzie, Joseph, Angela, Rubina all vote yes. Cam, Tucker, Chemo, and Chelsea all vote no. Now, I can definitely see the advantages of voting yes versus no. Now, let me tell you this right now. For me, baby, Julie would not have even gotten the chance to finish her sentence, okay? I would have punched in no so damn quickly. I would not have even let Ainsley finish her speech. I would have said no, 9, not today. Exit stage left, Ainsley. Absolutely not. I would not have voted her in. But clearly my dumbass would have been wrong for doing that. So there you go. So the people that voted yes actually turn out to have the chance to compete in a competition, and the winner will get an upgrade to their game. And the people that voted no will be punished. And Ainsley did warn them that they would regret it. They'll be punished, and the loser from that no competition will get a disadvantage in the game. What do I think about this twist? I think it's a pretty cool twist, honestly. It incorporates the AI theme pretty well. I know people are mad that like playing the game well gets you punished, but honestly, like, it's all about kind of being socially adept. Like, they should have clocked the fact that Ainsley had a clockable ass wig and was wearing a robotic shirt and was kind of leaving those cryptic messages in her little message. But then again, my dumb ass would not have clocked it. So there we go. But personally, I like the twist. And honestly, from the powers and from the disadvantages, it doesn't seem to be too bad. I think it's a cute twist. But I also don't think it should have taken up the whole damn episode. Now, out of the people that vote yes, Mackenzie, Joseph, Angela, and Rubina, they get to do the yes competition, which is this competition where you're spinning in a chair really, really fast. Colors are flashing red, blue, green, yellow, and you have to remember the sequence and input it back in. And the person excuse me, the person that gets the most in the shortest amount of time gets the power. So Angela goes first and she tries. She tries her best. She unfortunately does not get it. She gets 2 in before I'm pretty sure she didn't even get 2 in, actually. I'm pretty sure she put in blue and then the second one she put in was false. Bless her heart. Rubina goes, Joseph go, and then eventually Mackenzie actually ends up getting it. So Mackenzie gets the power, which again I was surprised by. I'm like, okay, Mackenzie, I expected you to be like a Kia, but she ate that. I'm like, all right, woman can't beast. Okay, Mackenzie. So she did good with that. So she got the power, which I'm gonna discuss in the Sunday episode probably. But she did get the America's Veto power, which again we'll discuss later. But out of the no competition, Chelsea lost that competition because Homegirl could not find the plug. In that competition, you basically had to stick your head up a tube that had like animals circling you, or not animals, like little critters, like snakes and shit, and then you had to see the letters that were posted around and then check a board of words and match them up and then plug in a little outlet and then hit your button. So Tucker seemed to be doing the worst, and it actually seemed like Chelsea was going to beat Tucker until she forgot about the plug and she didn't plug her shit in and she pressed the button and she wasted a bunch of time and she flopped. Now, am I going to say that this is what happens when you're a Zionist? No, I'm not going to say that. but we're gonna move on. So from that, now I will mention one more thing before we wrap this episode up. There was a bit of controversy on Twitter with Joseph and Mackenzie in the Yes competition because the timer seemed to be a little off. It seemed to actually show that Joseph did it faster, which got some people riled up. But, if you do go back and you time each of them starting from the time that it said input sequence, it does seem like Mackenzie did do it faster. So Mackenzie is the rightful winner. She barely beat out Joseph. Now, first of all, these people, like, I don't know, they only got four was like the record. Four was the most that anyone got, which is kind of wild to me. I feel like I would have gotten at least like five. I don't know, that's just me. But then again, I'm not very good with being dizzy, so who knows. My dumbass wouldn't have even been in that competition. Actually, I would not have even been competing in that competition, so I should not be talking. But overall, I think these are pretty good equitable comps. I'm really hoping that they learn their mistake from BB25 and are inputting more equitable comps so that we get a more variety of winners. But so far, they seem to be doing a pretty good job. Big Brother, do not fuck it up so far. Now that is the end of episode 1. So we wrap up with learning that Mackenzie won and Chelsea lost, and then we wrap up episode 1 by getting a little sneak peek of the next 8 people to move in, which transitions on to episode 2. Now, as far as episode 1 goes, I think that was a pretty okay premiere. They absolutely did not need to split this up into 2 nights, especially if it's not a live move-in. They could have absolutely oh my goodness, edited this to be 1 episode. Absolutely. But it is what it is. So we're gonna move on to episode 2. We're gonna take a little break, and then when we come back, we're gonna review episode 2, and we're gonna dive into a little bit of the live feeds as well and give our overall opinions. And we're back. So let's get into the second batch of house guests. So episode 2 started out pretty much the same way. Julie. Now I will say this: Julie is wearing this red tulip dress, little flower-ish moment. I like this outfit better than the episode 1 outfit, but I'm a little confused because I think these were filmed on the same day. Because when the first group of people met with the second group of people, they were still wearing the same clothes. It seemed to be the same time of day. I doubt they would isolate them. They did say that they were isolated. I doubt they would sequester those first people for too long. Their makeup looked the same, so I doubt they would sequester them for a day and then have them come out and wear the same outfits and do the same makeup and hair. So obviously it was filmed on the same day. So did Julie just change outfits? Julie just changed outfits and hair and makeup. Julie changed outfits and hair and makeup. What, like 30 minutes in between, like filming? I'm a little confused because she did come on the big screen and she clearly had a different outfit on each time. So I'm a little confused. But honestly, good for Julie. She's a professional. She probably did do that. And honestly, she's a professional, so good for her. Now, moving on to the house guests, we have our second batch of 8, who I think this is the stronger batch, honestly. Our first house guest is Quinn Martin. Quinn is 25. He is from Lawton, Oklahoma, and he lives in Omaha, Nebraska. I don't know what either one of those fucking cities are. And he is a nurse recruiter, which I also don't know what the fuck that is. What the fuck is a nurse recruiter? Do they just recruit nurses? What? Okay. Anyway, so Quinn is the super fan archetype this season. Quinn has a Zingbot cutout in his house. Quinn appears to be a feedster, so I am living for that aspect. Quinn appears to know a lot of past players. He compared himself to Jason Guy, which is a strong comparison. But he's also randomly athletic. Like, I did not expect that in his intro video at all, but he runs 20 miles a week, allegedly. He runs 20 miles a week, and he has the world record for a one-legged, longest time spent on one leg blindfolded. I did not know that was a thing. But good for him, Chow. Good for him. That's kind of crazy. Now I want to look up what that record is. Actually, hold on. Give me a second, because that doesn't even sound real. World record for one-legged stand blindfolded. I don't think that's real. I think he's lying about that, because what the fuck are you talking about? Let's see. Who had longest duration standing on one leg blindfolded? Okay, so he is a liar. Interesting. Okay, so it says right here, according to the Guinness Book of World Records, I don't know what world record book Quinn is submitting this shit to. But it does say that the longest duration standing on one leg blindfolded is held by somebody named Ram Thal, who lives in India, with a time of 2 hours and 1 minute, which honestly doesn't seem that long. And it was achieved in October 2023. So 2023, girl, 2023. Now that was in India, so maybe in the USA he holds that record. I don't know what he's talking about. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm really trying to find. Girl, what are you talking about? What's his name, Quinn? Let me look him up by name. Maybe then he'll pop up. Cause that cannot be real. No, child, I don't see nothing about a Quinn Martin. The scandal. All right, so apparently Quinn is a liar. So Quinn lied about holding the world record for the one-legged blindfold. Now, I'm not so sure anymore if he runs 20 miles a week. I don't even know if he did track in college. Honestly, Quinn is a fan of the show, and I feel like he would lie about that. He would lie about that because that's not something you can really prove. I mean, you can prove it, but it's something you can get away with not proving. You know, he's very smart for that. Quinn, I'm very tempted to see. I really want to know after the season is over and Quinn gets out. I really want to ask him if these things are true because I have a feeling that they're not. I have a feeling that they're not. I don't think this man, like, no shade. I'm not saying that he's like not built or whatever. He could run 20 miles a week, but I just have a feeling that he doesn't. I have a feeling that he said that to be cast, which is very smart. Um, we know he doesn't hold the world record for the one-legged blindfold stand. I don't know. Maybe he didn't like submit it to Guinness Book of World Records. Maybe he just like uploaded it on YouTube or something, so it's not like official. I don't know. We'll have to do more research about that. If you know anything about that, please let me know because now I'm actually very curious. Now, anyways, moving on, we have oh Lord. Okay. We have Brooklyn Rivera. Brooklyn is 34. She's from Covington, Georgia, whatever that is, and she lives in Dallas, Texas, and she's a business administrator. Y'all hear those crickets? Okay. What can we? All right. So, Brooklyn. Okay. Well, before we discuss what we're obviously going to discuss, let's talk about her gameplay does seem pretty good. I'll give her that. She describes herself. She constantly says sassy, classy, and a little badassy, which is cute. You know, she has a little fuck ass bob. It's cute. Now, Lord. Okay, so for those that don't know, Brooklyn was I don't know if I should use the word exposed because it's not really like a secret. But Brooklyn is Aaron Williams's best friend. Well, maybe not best friend, but close friend. Aaron Williams being Aaron from Big Brother 15. Now, everyone listening to this probably knows, but in case you don't, Aaron on Big Brother 15 was one of the most racist house guests. Nowadays, when you load up the live feeds, there's a message, a disclaimer that says, you know, the views of the house guests don't reflect what we as CBS think, and Aaron is the reason why that is on there. Because she said some crazy ass shit that I'm just not even gonna repeat, and she got called out for it, and she lost her job, and now she's a mommy blogger, being all successful and being all MAGA. But that's beyond me. So it's just kind of wild to me that they would cast because Big Brother like openly shuns Aaron. Like they don't want anything to do with Aaron. They don't want anything to do. The whole entire cast of Big Brother 15 has pretty much been blacklisted, just for being on that season, that cursed ass season. So it's just crazy to me because they've been so like anti-Aaron. They don't want anything to do with Aaron. But now all of a sudden here they are casting her best friend or her close friend, whatever. And this is not like a secret. Like she literally has a post. Like if you scroll like 5 posts down on her social media, she'll have a thing. She has a video that's like, my best friend Aaron Williams sent me this package from her diaper company or whatever the fuck she runs. This is insane. This is crazy. Like this is insane. Like do casting producers just not do research or like did they do this on purpose? Like I'm confused. Like and Erin has the audacity to show herself on the Twitter streets talking about when do live feeds start. Girl, go home. Now, Lord. Now I will say, you know, there are some people that are like, well, we don't know what Brooklyn's politics are now. For me, if you can even be close friends with somebody like that, somebody like Aaron, who is, by the way, you know, people will say, oh, well, people change. Well, Aaron hasn't. You know, Aaron is still very much MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. So if you're friends with someone like that, then I'm going to assume that you are also MAGA, 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 or that you stand for MAGA, 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 or that you tolerate MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. Because, let me take a sip of my water. This is just insane to me. This is insane. Like, I cannot believe they would cast Aaron's friend. Now, I will say, Brooklyn has yet to show any nasty behavior on the live feeds. She hasn't said anything bad. She's actually been pretty chill on the live feeds. She's been playing pretty good and chill and nice. And also another thing is Brooklyn is part Cherokee and part black, but you're close friends with Aaron Williams. Like, girl, she don't want you. And also, I don't know if Brooklyn is also MAGA, 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 but how do I say this? She does celebrate the hell out of 4th of July. Let's say that. Girl, so far, I don't know whether to give her the benefit of the doubt or not. Her stand card is definitely not there at all. Her stand card is locked behind a cell. I'm gonna wait until she gets out of the house to speak on this, I guess, and hear her side and hear what the fuck's going on. But this is crazy. This is insane. And I know that she knows that Aaron was on Big Brother, so this is just crazy. I don't know what they were thinking with this. I'm actually very curious to see what they were thinking with this and to see Brooklyn's point of view from this, because this is just crazy. But she has not done anything wrong yet on the show, so do with that what you will. If she does, then we'll be sure to update you all. But that's just wild to me. Let's move on before I get a migraine. All right, next up we have Matt Hardman. He is 25. He is from Roswell, Georgia. Roswell, I don't know. And he is a tech sales rep. Now, Matt, for me, is taking the cake for the hottest man on the cast. I'm going to go out on a very long limb and say that Matt is objectively the hottest man that they have cast in the new era. For me, I'm really trying to think. Maybe Kyland comes close for me. Oh, what am I talking about? Joseph. Joseph from Big Brother 24 takes that cake, but Matt is a very close second. He is very fine, but honestly, for me, that's kind of all there is to him. He's very like Southern boy. He's probably going to get into a showmance with Mackenzie if time allows him, because chow, what's been going on is a little crazy, but he has pretty good feeds. Now, he has been given the nickname Crazy Eyes because he does this. He does this all feeds long. He just fucking opens his damn eyeballs for the whole world to see. He makes very exaggerated facial expressions. He is very messy. He's very good feeds. He's pretty good television. But I find myself having a bit of a hard time rooting for him fully. Honestly, the only reason that I really want him to stay is because I feel like the show needs some eye candy. And Tucker's not really doing it for me the way that I thought he was going to be doing it for me. But there's that. He's pretty good television so far, though, so I will say that. I was expecting him to kind of lay low and whatever. He did not do that, clearly. So we'll see. It does seem like he is going to be in some hot water this week. He could possibly be the first person evicted. We don't know. We'll see. Let's move right along to to Lisa Wintrub, 33, LA celebrity chef. This picture of Lisa, hold on. This picture of Lisa is cracking me up. When I saw this picture during cast reveal, I could not stop laughing. What is going on? These pink ass extensions, these 2016 ass pink ass extensions, and the butterfly clips that aren't even clipping anything. Goodness, I live for her. She's camp. She is the definition of the word camp. I don't know if the pink extensions are meant to give like rocker chick or like Freaky Friday stuck in a 16-year-old's body, but she's camp. Now, during her introduction, she did say that she coined the term vibe curator, and I'm just not sure how accurate that is. I don't think she coined the term vibe curator. I'm pretty sure that's been a thing, but good for her that she thinks she did that. I cannot with these pink extensions. I really can't. She's honestly very camp. She's also very messy so far. I honestly live for Lisa. She is pretty cracked out. So I hope Lisa wins HOH next week just to see how crazy she'll get. Let's move along. Oh my goodness, we still have like 4 people to get through. We got to speed this up. We have Leah Peters, 26, from Miami, and she is a VIP cocktail server. Now, that is a pretty golden occupation, Big Brother. The only other VIP cocktail servers I'm pretty sure have been Portia, Rachel, and Janelle. All three of them amazing. Leah seems to be following that path because she also seems to be amazing. She seems to be amazing television, amazing feeds. She's making all the right moves, saying all the right things. She is at the top of my list right now. For me, Leah and Angela are taking the cake. Leah is doing a great job. She is a self-proclaimed chubby chaser, which I find to be pretty interesting. It's also kind of interesting to me that they cast someone who is a self-proclaimed chubby chaser and didn't really cast any chubby men on the season, which is kind of disappointing. Yeah, all the men are like super fit. Well, Kenney. Well, I mean, Kenny's like 52. Um, I guess Joseph. I would say Joseph. I don't know. Do y'all think Joseph's chubby? I've seen this debate on Twitter because some people have like been like Leah meet Joseph, and then some people will say that Joseph's not chubby. But I feel like Joseph, I wouldn't call him like fit. You know, no shade, no shade, no shade at all. I mean, we saw his introduction. Anyways, moving along. Leah also does have her own underwear company, but it doesn't seem like she's just there to promote it. I'm pretty sure she applied to the show because she said that her sister is a super fan. I follow her sister on Twitter. She's pretty good. And her mom. She's there to play the show. She's seen a good amount of seasons. She gives me like, she gives me like, I don't know. She doesn't. I know people have been comparing her to Brittany Haynes, but she does not give me Brittany Haynes. She gives more of. She gives more of Portia, honestly. Like ditzy, dumbass blonde that's actually not that ditzy and not that much of a dumbass and knows the game. And she gives me like third place vibes for some reason. I don't know. I feel like she's gonna make it pretty far. I feel like she is. Yeah. Now moving along, we have Cedric Hodges, I don't know, Cedric. 21 from Boise, Idaho, and he is a former Marine. Now, a former Marine at 21 is kind of wild. I don't know what he does now. His occupation is just former Marine. I don't know if he's retired at the age of 21. I don't know what's going on. Now, Cedric, I don't really have much to say about him. I find him a little annoying personally, like no shade at all. He just doesn't really give me much to work with. I don't know. I don't know. He's just kind of there. He does have a very like baby face. Like I don't know if I'm going crazy, but this looks like a 15-year-old boy to me. And I know I'm one to talk, but like he looks like I don't know. If I just saw his face alone, I would think he's like 17. But he does seem to be like playing like the little brother card pretty well in the house. Despite getting the disadvantage, which we'll get into, he seems to be in a pretty good position. He's there, Cedric, he's there. I expected him to like actually play too hard and like possibly be the first boot, but he's doing a good job. He's there. He's fine. I don't really have anything extraordinary to say about him. So we're gonna move along to Tikor Claudi. She is 23. She was born in London, but she's from Chicago, but she lives in Atlanta. Okay. And she is a crochet business owner. Now, Tikor, this has to be the strangest accent I have ever heard. I don't know if it's just me, but is she faking her accent? Like, am I going crazy? Is Tikor faking her accent? It sounds like she's an American trying to do a British accent. Like, I don't know, the way her accent will switch on and off. She'll like flip a switch. She will say the same word 3 times in one sentence and she'll say it differently all 3 times. Like sometimes she gives Chicago, sometimes she gives this fake ass British Australian accent, and then sometimes she gives like, I don't know, like New York in a way. I don't know. Hearing her speak is truly an experience. Like this has to be the craziest accent that I've ever heard. I feel like they definitely told her to play it up a little bit, like kind of like a Jasmine. Because there's just no way that she talks like that. I don't know. I feel like she sounds a little differently on feeds than she did in her preseason interviews. But even on feeds, it's kind of crazy. Like that accent will pop in, it will jump in, and then it'll jump back out. Another thing is that she was raised by lesbian mothers. Go her. She has my stand card right now. She's doing very good in the game, in my opinion. Well, not very good, but she's doing pretty good. Her fashion, mwah. Her style, mwah. The people she's lining with, mwah. Her gameplay, honestly, mwah. She says she doesn't want to do a house vote. Her accent is kind of getting on my nerves. I will not lie to you. But she's a queen. She's a queen. I love her. Good for her. She's doing good. T-Core, you get 2 thumbs up for me. Now, finally, last and certainly least, Last and certainly least, we have Kenny Kelly. Kenny is a 52-year-old former undercover cop from Boston, Massachusetts. Um, Now, honestly, I'm super glad that Kenny was cast in the season because I really think that um Big Brother really needed more former undercover cops. I don't think we've had enough former undercover cops on reality television. I really don't think we have. I don't think Big Brother has had enough cops to begin with, honestly. I really think that's such an underrepresented group. And hearing him say that Derek was his favorite player and he wanted to play like him was just mind-blowing. Like no one has ever given me that answer. Like he seems very original. He seems like he's going to be so likable, and I'm just so excited that we got another former undercover cop because I really think that we haven't had enough of that. Moving right along, I cannot. I am glad that he is possibly going home first. I am so sorry, but he does not give for me at all. He's very boring on the feeds. Also, another thing is during his introduction, he was like in a cop uniform, but he's a former undercover cop. So did they? And they filmed in a station. So did they go back to the station, rent out a uniform for him to dress in, just for him to pretend like he's a cop? Because I'm pretty sure he said that he was retired. So I'm a little confused. That's kind of camp, honestly. But he's a weirdo. He said he wanted to target the sensitive people. Okay, okay. I know he does not like Davon. I know he did not like Bailey. I know that for sure. He's weird to me. I don't like him. I don't think we need this archetype anymore. Whoever was responsible for getting him cast. Mm-mm, mm-mm. And listen, I get it. We need diversity. I get that. I understand that. And we need a differing plethora of political views. But oh my God, like Kenny, like, girl, we've had this archetype 20 million times. Like, cast somebody else that's not a former undercover cop. Like, damn. Like, oh my goodness. Like, we could have cast so many more interesting older men. Even if you want to go with the conservative men route, we could have cast so many more interesting people. Like, my goodness, they hit the jackpot with Donnie that one season and then they never got it right ever again. Okay. Moving along. So those are the 8 people that moved in this time. The first group was Quinn, Takor, Matt, or Tikor. Is it Tikor or Takor? I think it's Tikor. Quinn, Tikor, Matt, Leah, um, and then Cedric, Lisa, Kenny, and Brooklyn moved in after. Now, another comment that I have to make about Brooklyn. Damn. Brooklyn loves this fucking orange top. She has worn this orange top 3 times now. She wore it in her promo, in her preseason interview stuff. She wore it in her like introduction video, and now she's wearing it again. This time it's like a jumper. It kind of looks like a one piece. I can't tell if it's like a one piece and she just has that same orange top, or if it's like a two-piece and it's just blended in very well. But oh my God, does Brooklyn love this fucking orange top? I'm not saying it looks bad. It actually looks pretty good, but goodness, I don't know. Maybe she's just, wearing orange in solidarity to show support. To show support for her favorite. She's making a statement, okay? I don't know, but she loves this fucking orange top. Oh my goodness. I wonder how Brooklyn feels about Trump getting shot. I want to know her reaction. Anyways, Cedric did clock. Now another thing is Cedric did clock Kenny being a cop, possibly. We haven't heard anything about it again from the feeds, but he did clock that Kenny had an American tattoo and said he could have been a Marine or a cop. I don't know why Kenny is disguising his occupation, honestly. Like, you don't need to tell them you're an undercover cop. Just say you're a retired police officer. Like, I promise you, we've had enough police officers on the show. It's not that intimidating of a job. Oh, child, I had to take a sip of water because I can't. We've had police officers, like, it's not that crazy of a job. Like, if you just say you're a corrections officer, no one is gonna bat an eye. Like, it's not that insane, girl. I don't know what he told them. I think he told them he's a stay-at-home dad or a teacher, question mark. I don't know. I might be making that up. But child, you're just asking for trouble by lying about things like that. But Cedric did clock that, though. Nothing has come from that since then. Now, after they do that, they do the Ainsley twist again. This time, only 2 people vote yes, and that was Leah and Quinn. I'm shocked to see that Quinn voted yes. I'm not sure if Quinn knew. and voted yes smartly, or I don't know what Quinn's thought process during that was. I'm very interested to see that. Hopefully they'll show that in the Sunday episode. Actually, hopefully not, because we have more interesting things for them to be showing. But they did vote yes, and then Lisa, T-Core, Matt, Brooklyn, Kenney, Cedric all voted no. Um, Now we do the yes comp, so it's different competitions this time. This time the yes comp is they have four. Basically, it's a pretty simple competition. You have four flash drives, four like USB ports. Plug them into the correct ones. It's kind of like when you were a kid and you were putting the circle in the circle mold, the square in the square, and the triangle in the triangle. The only gag is like the room is like, okay, when they said it was going to be gyrating, I thought it was going to be like spinning, like the No Tears Left to Cry music video. I thought it was going to be spinning. But no, it was just kind of like rocking back and forth. So it was a pretty cute competition. It's pretty equitable. Now, oh my goodness, I was shouting at my TV screen because Leah was fucking around. I don't know what she was doing. She was just playing around. She got the first two in faster than Quinn. And then she was just like laughing, ditzying, like ha ha ha, skipping her way onto the flash drives. Leah, move. It's a competition. What are you doing? Leah, get on it. Like, oh my God. I wanted to kill her. I was so mad because she was so close to winning, and then she just fucked up that last one. She was like, she couldn't put it in. She was putting it upside down. She dropped it. I'm like, girl, like, what the fuck are you doing? So Quinn did end up winning that competition, and he got the deepfake HOH power, which again we'll discuss probably next podcast because child, we're about to approach an hour on this one. But yeah, so Quinn did get that power. Good for Quinn. Leah, oh my goodness, like she was so close. But honestly, knowing what Leah has done so far, it's probably best that she didn't get that power. Out of the no people, it was pretty close, but Cedric actually ended up losing the competition. This comp was really weird. They had like 3 discs that they had to maneuver with the side of their face, and like kind of move it around, get it into 3 different holes. Now, personally, if I had to compete in this competition, I would be fucking heated because what do you mean I have to press my face against this? First of all, you're going to make me look a fool on camera. Second of all, baby, my foundation, my lip gloss is about to rub all over this bitch. Like, I'm not about to do that. Sorry. But everyone did it. Nobody got the 3rd slot in, which was kind of crazy. But Cedric did do it the slowest. So Cedric did get the punishment. Now, let's actually move on to that. So they all come together. They all come in, and I'm also very confused on how long they sequestered them again. I feel like they were only isolated for a couple of hours, but everyone comes in wearing the same stuff, so I'm assuming that they moved in pretty close to each other, probably back to back. They all introduce themselves, whatever, whatnot. And then we find out they all get on the couch, and Ainsley comes on that little fucking projector screen with her weird ass self. Also, Ainsley is just built a little weird. She makes me a little uncomfortable, and the way she moves, like that of it all is kind of wild. But very much that. So Ainsley does reveal that we are not going to find out who won the yes competition or the upgrade, whatever you want to call it. They will find out in private, but she will air out the loser's tea. So she airs out Chelsea and Cedric. Now Chelsea is gagged. Chelsea, there's no way that you are that. Her jaw fell to the ground. I'm like, girl, you dicked around and you didn't plug in your shit for like 30 seconds. How are you shocked that you lost that competition? But anyways, we find out that the downgrade is kind of wild. You don't get to compete in HOH, you don't get to compete in veto, and you don't get to vote, but you can be nominated. You're essentially a BBAI mascot. I don't know if they're gonna have to wear like mascot outfits during the competitions or whatever, but you cannot compete, which is wild. Now, this season, spoiler alert, this season does seem to have a different format for the first couple of weeks. Again, we'll discuss that for the feeds one. But it does seem like there's 3 nominees. Veto happens, someone comes off or someone doesn't, and then a BBAI arena competition happens where the 3 house guests compete before the live eviction. One of them comes off, and then 2 people face the vote. So it does seem like this downgrade is not too bad because there is still a chance to save yourself, but it is still pretty wild. Now, I don't know how they did it, but they did twist it to work in their advantage. Somehow it gave them immunity because the house guys thought that it was brutal to nominate them during this. Bitch, the way Chelsea and Cedric's ass would have hit the block if I was HOH, I am so sorry. That, actually, with the twist, they probably wouldn't have, but still, that's crazy to me. That does seem to be a pretty big downgrade, honestly. But they worked it out in their favor, and now it does seem to be a thing that only lasted for 1 week. So they seem to be all in the clear now. So whatever. Ainsley, your twist was a flop. Um, and to quickly discuss the upgrade options. So Julie did mention that Mackenzie and Quinn are going to get either the deepfake HOH. One of them is going to get the deepfake HOH, and one of them is going to get America's Veto. So, based off of what we have heard from the live feeds, Mackenzie got the America's Veto, Quinn got the deepfake HOH. We know for sure that the America's Veto is basically an extra power veto. You get to use it, and then America votes for the replacement nominee. And the deepfake HOH seems to be kind of like that BB23 twist that Claire had, where she basically just got to take over somebody's HOH. It also seems pretty similar to the BB20 power app that Bailey had, where she got to take over someone's HOH. They keep reusing this power where you can take over somebody's HOH, hoping that it'll stick and like actually be effective. And every time it just kind of flops. So here's to me hoping that Quinn can actually do something entertaining with this power. So that is pretty much where we wrap up for the episode. They all cheers, clink, 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 and then we get to the live feeds. Now, I was going to discuss the craziness that has been happening on the live feeds, but we have kind of hit the time limit with this podcast. We're an hour in. So I'm going to leave that for another episode. The Sunday episode is tomorrow, so I might wait for that to come out, and then we'll see how they edited it all, because there have been some crazy things that have been going on the live feeds. I'm super excited to cover all of that. But do stay tuned for that. The next podcast, I will be covering what happened in the Sunday episode probably, and what has happened over the first, we're on day 5 right now. So over the first 5 days in the house, because there has been a lot. This is a very, very messy cast, and I'm super excited to cover that. So that is the end. Please let me know, who are y'all rooting for? Personally, for me, after this first episode and after biasly the first couple of days of feeds, I'm going to give my stand cards out to Leah. Leah has my number 1 spot. I will not lie to you. Angela has the stand card. T-Core has the stand card from me. And Chemo. Those are my 4. Quinn gets an honorable mention. I'm going to see how Quinn is, because I can appreciate a super fan, but some super fans can be kind of boring. So I'm going to see what Quinn has to bring to the table. And Lisa also gets an honorable mention for sure. Lisa and Quinn, and honestly Tucker. Tucker is kind of messy as well. Lisa, Quinn, Tucker are on the wait list, and Rubina. Okay, I'm naming half the cast at this point. Rubina is also good, but she's kind of boring. Rubina, Lisa, they're on the wait list for one. Tucker and Quinn are also on the wait list, but they're a little further down. But Leah, T-Core, Angela, Chemo, my girls, kill it, please. Those are my favorites. Y'all, please feel free to let me know, who are y'all rooting for. I am very curious to know, because I feel like the internet is pretty divided. Twitter feels pretty divided between the whole Matt and Mackenzie side and the Angela side. So I'm very curious to know who y'all are rooting for and who y'all want to win. Personally, I'm honestly rooting for the messiness. I hope Kenney goes home this week and Matt stays. That way we can just get a back and forth messy situation going on. I want the drama to stay. I'm rooting for the drama. That's who I'm rooting for. So yeah, that is pretty much the end. Thank you so much to anyone who has stuck through and listened. I am very excited to get this podcast on the road. Very excited to cover all of Big Brother. When Survivor starts, I will definitely be covering that. I am very busy. I'm a full-time student. I work 2 jobs, so I'm going to try to cover as much of Big Brother as I can. I'm definitely going to stick to at least hopefully once a week, but I'm hoping I can do a little more than that to also cover what's been going on the live feeds. Now, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I know this is a little kind of boring with just me on here, but I'm really hoping to have some special guests come on soon, perhaps some previous players, perhaps some people that are close with the community, or perhaps just some friends. I am in the works of getting that set up a little bit, so I'm super duper excited to bring some special guests on. Hopefully next time I'll have somebody else to discuss it with me. If not, then sometime in the very near future. So yeah, that is all. Thank you so much. Next time, I will see y'all for these live feed updates, where we will be seeing the true mess that has gone on in this house. Until then, y'all, stay blessed, and thank you so much for listening.